Hi, my name is Mark, and I was recently on a Regal Princess cruise around the UK, 12-day cruise, and it was interesting because I took along a little sketch pad, nothing big, just ordinary little sketch pad, a couple of pound or more that you'd find in a stationery store. Wasn't intended to do any great sketches, it was just a standby thing really, just in case I got bored and wanted something to do. But it came up with some interesting results. First off, when we set off from Southampton, we're going on you've got a day at sea before you get to Cove. That was our first port of call in Ireland. And you go into the main dining room, normally main dining room, very, very nice, very tasteful. And you've got these long bench seats. And I don't know if it was the wife or I sat in it, and you sink, I'm getting lower and lower. I think, well, this is a bit odd. And it conjured up a sort of humorous depiction of people, help, I'm sinking in the seats. And I'm one of those people, once I get an image in my mind, I just need to kind of put it down on paper. So I'm back in the cabin, and sure enough, I thrash out this little image. And when you're at sea, I didn't have any internet access, but we arrived in Cove, and I got off the ship, we had a nice tour around, some lunch, whatever, you get back along, and usually a couple of hours before you head off. So I thought, I'll put it on the Facebook group. Well, got nothing to lose. So I put it onto the Facebook group. Wasn't expecting any kind of feedback, but a lot of, I suppose some comments came back, yeah, that's exactly how it was. We had to swap. Anyway, it was just a humorous image. So overnight, we're then cruising up to Dundee or Dublin, and we didn't get off. We stayed on and used the hot tub and other bits and pieces, and didn't think anything of it. And then went to Holyhead, and we kind of live in Wales, so we didn't really need to get off at Holyhead, so we stayed on board again. But then we're going to Greenock near Glasgow, and we thought, well, if it's a nice day, we'll get off and have a wander around. So we did. We got off. We had a little excursion into town, and then we went off and had a little walk up the promenade, if you want to call it that, coffee, latte, get back on the ship. And I said to the wife, I'm just going to go and chill out at the back of the ship because it's got a nice view from up there. And as I'm up there, sure enough, there's a chuff, thing. What's that? That's not a normal ship going past. And it was a Waverley paddle steamer. So quick as a flash, I only had my phone on me, so I videoed it with the phone. And I was already working on a little drawing, which was the front of Regal Princess. I thought, whether I can incorporate the Waverley. So 20 minutes, I thrashed out this basic sort of sketch and then tidied it up a bit. And added that to the Facebook group. And that got quite a bit of good feedback, which is cool. And by now, this has kind of given me a bit more want to do more images. And you kind of, when you put your phone down, you start to see things, you start to look at things. And we'd noticed that there were people doing maintenance around the ship. They're painting the bits that have, got a bit of saltwater damage. And they were painting the davits outside our balcony. You can see down, you can see them painting it. And I think the wife said, what would happen if you opened the curtains and you were half dressed? Just a passing comment. And then bing, another little image came to mind. So a depiction of well, what's the punchline? So the punchline was, why do people wear safety harnesses? And I had a visage of some lady opening the curtains and in her underwear, and lo and behold, there's a guy outside trying to paint the davits or whatever, and then he falls backwards, and that's what his safety harness is for, nothing to do with anything else. So that one received pretty good reviews, actually. It kind of reminded me a bit of like the old humorous seaside card, perhaps. Don't know. But from there, I did a couple other little drawings, and then we were going around the north, the top of Scotland, to end up in Invergordon. I'm thinking, well, most people get off in Invergordon. What are they looking for? Well, they're going into the Highlands of Scotland, so they're going to see Highland cattle. So that one was a pretty easy drawing to conjure up. It's sort of like a little Highland cow between a gate, and it's got a welcome to Invergordon sign on it. And another one, but people were like, okay, you're going to Loch Ness. Everyone wants to see Loch Ness. It's famous. So I had a idea of two people, you know, and they're sat down and they're looking at their binoculars like 5,000 miles and still nothing, and they're actually sat on the tail of the Loch Ness Monster. And both those got good feedback. From there, the ship went to Edinburgh, and you stop at Queen's Ferry, and we got off, and there was a interesting official, but I've not put that one up. You won't see that one because he's like being very official. And there was one I think, well, what happens if these ships had characters, a bit like Disney kind of thing, you know, where you've got the smiley little tender and the smiley big mothership kind of thing. So I did one of those with the arch of the rail bridge, and again I got a good bit of feedback. And then from there we were going down round towards Weymouth, which was the next port of call. And before we got to that point, the wife took a call in the cabin, and it was an offer of a bridge tour. Would we like to go on a bridge tour? I was thinking, well, do they just do like a potluck random selection kind of thing, or was it because I've been drawing stuff? Turns out it was the latter, and I'm not complaining. It was a nice tour. They were joined a group of about 15 other people, and it was an interesting half an hour or more, seeing, you know, what they see from the bridge and some of the bits and pieces and the explanations. Very interesting. So yeah, that was welcome. I welcome that, and it gives you lots of visual data. Oh, it's amazing what your brain can think of. But I didn't do anything on that front because, you know, we're on holiday. And then we got to Weymouth, or Portland. You get off in the shuttle bus and it takes you into Weymouth, which is a little countryside country coast beach. And so you've got all these people getting off the ship, and there's probably 2,000 or more people getting off, and they're going on these shuttle buses and going into the local town. And they're all wandering around the same as us, looking at the shops, looking at the view, taking pictures, taking video. And then they get hungry, and they're like, oh, let's go and have a coffee or tea or a lunch. So, okay, what follows after that? You then kind of think, okay, I'm not going to make it back to the ship. I need to find the facilities. So they're looking for a loo, any kind of loo. Now, some people might go into have used the restaurant that they stopped at. Others need the public loo. So they're few and far between nowadays, the public loos in this country. So you've got, I had this vision of lots of people queuing up to try and use a public loo. And I posted that on a Facebook group, and that got some interesting feedback from various people who actually been to the loo that I was drawing. I don't know if they worried I was outside drawing it, I don't know. You just take a visual snapshot and work from that. But it was an interesting scenario depiction. And then from there, the ship went over to Le Havre, and it's mostly, you know, not everybody, a lot of people get off and they either go into Le Havre itself, or they go to the Normandy beaches, Omaha and all that kind of things. And there's obviously a big thing with cruise ships, wherever you are in the world, that you cannot take anything that's deemed as a weapon aboard. Whether that's spent casings, deactivated guns, toy guns that look like they're real guns, all those sorts of things, they'll all be confiscated and you won't get them back. So I thought, yeah, go have a play with that. So I had a guy sort of like who's driven back to the ship, and he's got this tank, you know, and then it's not in the paperwork. You can't say I can't bring that on board. So that was just a little bit of humour. And then finally, we're sort of all heading home now and all feeling into the cruise. And I thought, well, okay, what can I do on this one? So with that one, I just did a quick depiction of the UK with Ireland, a bit of France, and bon voyage, because everyone's going back to their ports of call from whence they came. So it was fun taking on a sketchbook. I'm really glad I did, and I'd taken cameras along as well, and obviously I've used cameras such as this one. But actually, the most rewarding part was coming up with ideas and laying them down in my sketchbook, and, you know, hopefully giving a bit of entertainment to those people on board. I mean, they could sort of see a little bit of the humour and put their own twist on it. A couple of people did ask if I, did I sell these? I'm on a cruise ship. I can't sell you anything while I'm on a cruise ship. I wouldn't want to go there. That could get you booted off easily, I would have thought. But no, they're only little drawings, little sort of 7x5. So I just gave a couple away, and a couple of other people asking if you do seminars. No, I'm just a passenger, the same as you. I'm just, you know, this is just a little bit like my hobby, my interest, and that's it. And to be fair, there were other people on board who were doing knitting. You know, obviously you've got the usual people who read a book, do Sudoku or crosswords, all those sorts of things. They're just enjoying their own hobbies, which is, you know, part of the world where everybody's different. So overall, it was a good cruise. We enjoyed it. We had good weather, great food, and great entertainment. So yeah, it was a good cruise. Thanks to Regal Princess or the Princess Cruises team.